Welcome back to A Minute and maybe a little more with Alan. This one's about servant leadership. You know, LinkedIn is full of people who have charts and graphs and lists of how leaders should act. And very few of these people are actually leaders who write this stuff. Certainly not highly sought after and well-known speakers. So I looked up servant leadership here. Now I have to say, servant leadership's been talked about for decades. I first heard it from a guy named Peter Block, who's about 6 or 7 years older than I am. And Peter wrote Flawless Consulting, an excellent book. And Peter is a bright, bright guy and a superb consultant. And he was talking about servant leadership way back when. I looked up some of these traits that people talk about, and they come up as empathetic, feeling what others feel, communicative, they give and take feedback well, they're authentic, I never knew what that meant, they're compassionate, fair enough, care about others, that's like empathetic. They are empowering, they help others, they give them agency, I guess. And they're stewards, they care for the resources of the group and so on. Well, these are certainly fine traits, right? And I think they're ideal traits. But I also looked up a cross-section of great leaders, people when you say who's a great business leader, these people came to mind. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mary Barra, Henry Ford, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Reed Hastings, Sheryl Sandberg, Andrew Carnegie, Mark Zuckerberg, Rashma Swajani, Richard Branson, Brad Smith, Brian Chesky, Jack Ma, Jeff Weiner, John D. Rockefeller, and Mark Benioff. You might agree with some and not others, I don't know, but it's certainly an impressive list to me. And I don't think any of these people really embodied this full-blown blast of servant leadership. I think some leaders are tough. I think some leaders say no. I think some leaders are unfair at times. You know why? Because all leaders are human. And so I think we need to start looking at results. And we ask ourselves, what are the traits of leaders who have been successful? When you bring in someone or you promote someone, do they create success? Do things result in improvement for the company and the employees and the customers and the stakeholders and so forth? Are people's conditions improved? And so when Gerstner was brought into IBM, who was from, I think, a food company, and said, oh, you can't do that. Well, he turned IBM around. And I don't think he did it gently. I think Steve Jobs wasn't as prepared the first time running Apple as he was when they had to bring him back the second time because the guy they brought in from Pepsi failed dismally. And so I don't think it's about servant leadership. I think it's about effective leadership. And effective leaders make tough decisions. They make hard decisions. They don't try to be popular. They try to be effective. They want to be respected, but they do what they have to do. I'd add Jack Welch to that list, and I know that probably drives a lot of you crazy, which is why I do it. But he went from Nuclear Jack, right, to running GE as really the last conglomerate, damn well. And he said of his divisions, 5 at the time or so, from appliances to NBC to credit, you're number 1 or number 2 in your market or you're out. It's not servant leadership, just effective.